Okay, so we're here with our 2020 CRF250RX. This is a really good bike. This bike is intended for guys who don't want the full R model. Now, if you're talking Yamaha, you'd be talking YZF model versus an FX model, or a KTM, an XCF versus an SXF. So these tend to be a little bit more. What's the big difference in these RX models or these types of models is the bigger tank, kickstand, 18-inch rear wheel. Those are the main things. Then subsequently they'll have a little bit lighter suspension settings. A lot of times they'll have a little bit softer ECU setting, a little different, little less hit. Okay, so with the Honda and KTM versions of these bikes, they have the same transmission as their motocross counterpart. And so they don't have a 6-gear, they don't have a wide ratio, they have the same gearing. So they're really just glorified motocross bikes. But that can be a good thing. If you're not riding the track a lot, this can be a really good bike. And so we really like kind of motocross bikes on the trail because we're used to riding motocross bikes. We mainly ride motocross. So riding a motocross bike on the trails it has us feel at home. And we ride 4-strokes a lot on the motocross track. So riding a 4-stroke on the trails, we do feel right at home, even though we mainly ride KTM 300s on the trails. So we took this bike to Utah, went to southern Utah, to central Utah, Green River, Richfield, and to Hurricane, Sand Hollow area. As you can see, we got some amazing footage of riding. We love this thing out there. We got about 15 hours or so on this bike now and have been real happy with it. Not a ton of complaints. The big tank is a bit big up in here, so it's definitely wider here than some of the other off-road bikes we ride. Don't notice it a ton, but it is a bit annoying. The bike's a bit heavy. It does feel a bit heavy for the power it has. You know, for being a 250, it's still a bit heavy. But overall, we feel very comfortable on Hondas. I've been a long-time Honda guy, so I feel really at home there. I don't like that you have to hold the clutch in to hit the starter button. You hit the starter button, nothing, hold it in, then you got it. We have some videos on how to disconnect that. That's another thing you can do. We'd rather be able to start it in neutral in wherever we are, not have to worry about pulling that in. The bike, as you can see in a lot of our riding footage, it does very well. Doesn't seem that apt to stall. Does it stall more than a 300? Well, of course it does, because it's a 4-stroke compared to a 2-stroke. And the new generation 2-strokes on those from KTM and Husky, that's a different, we're not comparing the same thing. This is a little bit more targeted away from full trail riding, and a little bit more moto and trail. And that's where this bike really shines, is in between those two. So if you're a Honda guy, you're gonna feel right at home on this bike. One of the really shining things about this bike is its suspension is just amazing. Works really well on the trail, on the choppy stuff, and then on the track it feels great. I think for most, there's a lot of guys, this is gonna fit just fine stock. Not gonna have to go get it revalved or anything. It's totally fine stock. We added wraparound handguards. The bike doesn't even come with handguards. It does come with a skid plate, but so does the R model. So it comes with a skid plate, and then it comes with a kickstand, as I mentioned, and 18-inch rear wheel. Other than those are the main features. Not drastically different than the motocross bike. We have an R version, which we will do a little bit of a direct comparison to that real soon. But the bikes are very similar in speaking. Other than that, we had a great time on this thing. I think you can see we had some really good footage of riding this. Spencer spent a bunch of time on it. He seemed to like it. You like it?
I do.
Yeah, so of course he likes it. But anyway, really fun bike. So if you're looking for a lightweight, small size, 250cc size, 4-stroke, this can be a great bike for you, especially if you're a Honda guy.